It was the peak of World War II. Under Hitler's complete control, Germany had invaded Poland, the Netherlands, Denmark, Czechoslovakia, and Belgium. They had also pushed all Allied forces back across the English Channel and out of France. The Allies devised a campaign and called it Operation Overlord. It was meant to be the beginning of the end of Axis superiority in Europe. Before they could make their move, they had to lure the Axis powers away from the planned target zone. They launched a large-scale deception campaign named Operation Fortitude to make the Axis powers think the Allies were going to land in other locations. The initial landing date was set for June 5, 1944. Allied troops were to be deployed over 50 miles of the coast of France in the Normandy region. The landing was postponed to June 6th due to poor weather conditions. The battle was the largest amphibious campaign in world history. Tanks, jeeps, artillery, infantry, and every supply had to be deployed from larger ships by using smaller boats to transport the goods to the shore. The Battle of Normandy lasted until late August, after which northern France had been freed from the Germans' control and the end of Axis power rule had begun.
On June 6, 1944, Allied troops from the U.S., Great Britain, and Canada started an invasion through the Normandy beaches along the English Channel in France. The Allied forces landed in 5 beaches or sections: Utah, Gold, Omaha, Juno, and Sword. The night before the invasion, secret soldiers under the mask of night came in to destroy the German defenses and got rid of important bridges so the Nazis' reinforcements would be slow to join the fight. As the morning came in, 160,000 soldiers came to land in the 5 beaches. The battle was rough, especially for the soldiers at Omaha. Allied deaths would be over 4,000. Half of them would be American. But by day's end, the Americans, the British, and the Canadian soldiers would have made it past the beaches, and less than a week later, on June 11th, the beaches were taken from Germany. This would be a big blow to the Germans, who are now being invaded by both sides. This would make the German government freak out, and a little more than a year later, they ended up surrendering to the Allies, ending the war in Europe.
The Waco CG-4A was the first glider to be used in the war. They were first used in the war in 1943, and were then used in many other battles, including D-Day. The gliders, while efficient for transporting cargo and troops, ended up causing many fatalities. This led to the nickname the Flying Coffins. The upside to this was how much cargo the glider could manage. It could hold 2 pilots, 13 troopers, and a jeep, along with many other things. There was over 12,000 of these aircrafts manufactured during the war for use. While at the time the glider was an helpful invention, the Waco CG-4A glider soon got retired from war. The length of the Waco CG-4A glider was 48 feet and 8 inches, with an incredible wingspan of 83 feet, 8 inches. Even though the glider itself only weighed 3,900 pounds, it can manage to hold over 7,000 pounds of cargo or soldiers. The glider's maximum speed was 150 miles per hour. They could cruise at around 70 miles per hour and remain almost silent, perfect for the war, especially with how efficient they were at transporting.
The Waco CG-4A, also known as a glider, was put as a fighting force on the ground. The glider was ready to move out and fight as a team. It is very easy to move. The glider was used in airborne operations to deliver assault troops and deliver weapons, light artillery, and vehicles that were too heavy to be dropped by a parachute. The glider also delivered supplies. The floor on the glider was built strong enough to carry jeeps and tanks. The glider would fly up and drop off troops across the enemy line and have a two-front war.